Welcome back to TransJoycast. I am your host, Kieran, he, him pronouns.
I'm Adam, he, him pronouns.
And I'm Ollie, and I use all pronouns lately.
All of the pronouns. I love
It's
it.
a pronoun party.
Pronoun party. Ooh, I can get down with that.
Yeah.
But will there be ice cream?
Always. It's a party.
Always.
Okay, good call. Okay. So today's episode is about fashion phases, and more specifically, our personal fashion phases. I'm really excited to hear about how Ollie and Adam dressed growing up, and I'm less excited to share about my journey. We will laugh. We might cry. No, it'll be a lot of fun.
Perhaps one could say that we will be proud of how far we've come in many ways, including fashion.
That's a beautiful way to say that. Look how much we've grown.
Okay, so as you guys know, I was in Catholic school for a very long time. And one of the things about that means that I was in a uniform all day, every day for 10 years. And for some reason, the way things worked out in my family, I hated shopping. So frequently, in order for me to actually have clothes, my mom would go to the store, pick out some things, bring them home, and then have me try them on and, see what I said.
It's very kind of her, really.
It very much was. I really appreciated that because otherwise I would be wearing the same shirt every day, probably.
Was it because it was a battle?
No, I think it's more she likes to browse when she shops, but she also somehow has a mission, and my kid brain loathed I didn't have the patience for trying on clothes. And also I didn't ever really consider the fact that I could wear clothes from a section that wasn't like the girls or the teen girls or whatever section. So I just never thought about it, which is also why I hated going, because I never found anything that I really liked. The other thing is that, my extended family, like that Indiana and Georgia kind of culture thing together, I didn't know a lot of people that kind of strayed from the stereotypical clothing for the genders that is popularly portrayed in media. So when I wasn't in Catholic school wearing a uniform, I was in church on Sundays. What I wore, my high school church uniform that I might as well have called it in the wintertime consisted of corduroy pants and some kind of patterned top or sweater, but I wore a lot of corduroy. I also was really into those the long Bermuda shorts, or I don't know if that's really what they're called, but that's what we called them at the time. Like the shorts that go to your knees. I had plaid ones too.
Ooh,
so that was probably the gayest that I ever looked.
Can we get I think we probably also need for reference like a time period. What time range?
This was the mid 2000s into the maybe 2011. Although when I got into later high school, because I graduated 2012, it shifted a little bit, but.
So I'm pretty sure that I owned several pairs of plaid shorts that were. It was probably mid 2000s, 2005 ish.
Did anyone else also own? I think my mom referred to them as gaucho pants. I don't know if that's an appropriate term, and if it's not, you can cut it. But
are they the big floppy pants?
Yeah, they're there was a period of time in which they were all the rage, I guess, in summery primary colors, and they were flowy capri length pants.
I'm gonna bet Adam didn't wear a lot of those.
But I had a lot of those too.
I did not. There was the time when pants were baggier just by nature. That was kind of the end thing, but I was never feminine enough presenting by the time gaucho pants were the thing. Although, truth be told, they look comfy.
I believe they were, which is why I was probably yes, I want to wear 10 of them in every color.
Something that I did find growing up is that I always felt why do pants have to be so short and so tight, and the shirts have to be so short and so tight? and neither of the two shall meet. And I wasn't a particularly long human, but I remember that being the thing. Corduroy, corduroy was pretty cool in the 90s.
It was. I had a lot of Goodwill corduroy in the 90s.
Yeah, we did a lot of corduroy too. It was. What years were you wearing corduroy?
2008 to 2010, maybe. My church corduroys, yeah.
Church corduroys.
Adam, did you have any prominent fashion years that jump out at you?
Unfortunately, I've pretty much always dressed the same.
I don't know if we'd say unfortunately.
Well, it was a fight for me from a very early age as to what I got to wear and didn't wear. And my parents gave up that fight pretty early. And so I wore a lot of khakis and sweaters and khakis and button downs and khaki like pants. My Indiana dad says slacks. And I wear slacks and a shirt. That's how you get to church. So I didn't have to do anything else. And I was always so scared to try anything on in a dressing room that I rarely had things that fit. Like my shoes were always too big because I would buy from the men's section. You can only go so small.
If anybody out there owns a shoe company, we could offer some notes.
Please help.
I socially transitioned, at 22. So I was in the men's sections on purpose. But I think the time as a child being, because I would get yelled out of the changing rooms when I was a kid, so why would I want to go back? So I didn't. So nothing ever fit.
Fair enough. I had a similar but also different journey. I didn't mind shopping in principle, but my mom wouldn't let me shop in the boys section. And so, had I been allowed to go over there, it would have been fine and I'd have been fine. But that was not the case. And so I hated shopping for clothes. When my dad was home, he would take me because my dad was in the Navy. And so he was gone a lot. But when he was home, and he was really good about taking me clothes shopping, and I could generally get what I was comfortable wearing. That was very, very influenced by my brother, who was younger than me, but bigger than me. So when he would grow out of his clothes, I would get them. And in that case, it was okay for me to be wearing those clothes because then they didn't have to spend money on it. And I think that was, my guess is that's how my mom was okay with that. I don't know if she was, quote, okay with it, but it happened because it was free. Yeah, so I really, really hated clothes shopping. It was always so stressful. It was always a fight. And there were times that I tried to lean into it, but it was never comfortable, and it usually ended up in an argument. So when I did shop in the girls section, which, was most of the time, there were some things that were pretty androgynous that I could get for sure, like t-shirts and stuff. I had this great bright green, highlighter green shirt that in bright pink across the front said neon. And I don't know, that one sticks out as one that I loved. I wore it until all the puffy paint fell off of it. But I generally, outside of that, would oftentimes try to pick the ugliest thing I could find. And I had this one outfit that I've seen pictures of over the years. I don't know if I have a picture of it here, but it was how would I describe it? It's sort of like it took inspiration from a sailor's outfit. We'll just start there. And it was a time when people would wear leggings and a skirt over leggings. And then sometimes the skirt was attached to the leggings. It was one of those. The skirt was attached to the leggings. I don't know what they were called. And it was red and gold striped. It might have had white as well. And the shirt to match was white. And I want to say the sleeves had maybe been red, and there was some sort of graphic on the shirt. And I wore that all the time because I thought it was, in some ways, I felt like I was rebelling because I was like, well, if I'm going to have to wear something, I'm going to wear something loud and obnoxious. And so that was sort of what I did. Some of the loud and obnoxious hasn't left me in terms
No,
of.
I don't think much
like,
of it has.
Yeah,
Was that
so
late 90s?
Yeah, a lot of it's
Yeah.
stuck.
My late 90s were a lot of Goodwill t-shirts and jeans, and I had Doc Martens that I bought when I was in Germany, and I wore those things till I had duct tape all over them. I had safety pins up and down my ears.
Oh, you know what? I can totally picture
My tongue pierced.
I can picture which kind of you were a specific kind of queer. We all were. And I'm picturing yours. That's fun. Doc Martens, I'll tell you what, in the 90s in Southern California, Doc Martens, ooh, it was like you were awesome if you had Doc Martens. But breaking those things in, no.
See, I've
No, no,
always
no.
been a boots person. That's one thing that the number of times in my life, actually the other day I came home from the gym and I was wearing my cowboy boots and my shorts, and Angela was like, "What are you doing?" Like, the number of times that I end up shorts and boots because I forget shoes is a lot. But
funny.
yeah.
I am also a boot lover. I don't know why. It just feels very protective, and I feel like I could like kick a door, kick a table.
As Ollie is wont to do.
Stronger, or like, I don't know. I feel like I could take on a lot of stuff if I'm wearing boots, but I also don't own a pair of like cowboy boots, so I feel like that's a different vibe.
We could fix that. We could fix that.
We should go
I've
cowboy
lived
boot
most
shopping.
of my life in work boots, and they're still my absolute most comfortable shoes.
Yeah.
So,
do you all have like? Did you have a favorite like Ollie? Did you have a favorite outfit?
Kind of. It's actually really funny because I was thinking about aspects of what I liked about this favorite outfit today, because I was thinking that I wanted to bring some of that back into my style now. But I was a large part of my queer awakening, and also just me trying to uncover like who I am as a person and my personality came from
Doc Martens.
No, I don't think I've ever owned a pair of Doc Martens either. So things for my list that I should do. But yeah, I watched 2 shows when I was in high school. One was Once Upon a Time, and one of them was Rizzoli and Isles. And they both have characters who are long-haired, badass cops, sort of.
Yeah.
And so it's very much suit jacket or leather jacket, and then like some kind of just a casual, like a V-neck or a tank top or something underneath, and like jeans and boots or whatever. So there were many times in which I was wearing some version of just like jeans and then a tank top and then some kind of a jacket over it. That was kind of my go-to thing, because I just wanted to live vicariously through those people.
It was it becomes, if you have a staple, it becomes easier to dress yourself. I'm remembering the did y'all ever watch, well, Ollie, you probably didn't. Adam, did you watch Doug growing up?
My sister did, yeah.
So there's an episode on Doug where I don't know what they're doing, but he opens his closet and he has a closet full of the same outfit. And I remember thinking, that is brilliant. You never have to pick. It's definitely not what's happening in my wardrobe these days, but it seems like a good idea. There are some staples, though.
I think that's a great observation about the staples, because I think when I started choosing clothes that I wanted to wear and really putting some thought in looking more in the men's section, I was kind of shocked at how much easier it felt to find clothes. And
right,
because there's like a formula. It's like you wear shorts or you wear pants, and if you wear pants, they're jeans or they're slacks, or there's still like stuff that I'm learning. But when I would be getting ready to go somewhere, it's like, okay, I pick from the choices of nice shirt, and then I pick from the choices of nice pant, and then I have brown shoe and black shoe, and I just pick those, and there's no like, it's so much easier. And I just really feel for the commitment and like mental energy I would imagine that it takes to shop in the women's section, because I don't claim to understand fashion, but there's just, and then the sizing, it's just a lot. So
it's a lot. I really think that it probably totally depends on who you are. I really enjoy, a lot of times I enjoy clothes shopping, as long as I know that I'm going to a place where I can find sizing that works for me, because everybody has individual bodies, and it feels like oftentimes these things are made for one kind of person across the industry. So that's frustrating for probably most of us. And outside of that, if I'm going to a place where I know that I can get stuff that's going to fit me properly, I really like picking stuff that's going to be a little, I don't know. I don't know how I would describe my taste, but it's definitely different than what a lot of other people wear, I think, typically. And I like a lot of bright colors, and it's fun for me to find those things. I enjoy it. It's a little bit like, well, it's so different than when I was younger, when I just freaking hated it. I hated it. Oh my gosh, when I was in band in high school, guys were supposed to wear tuxes, and the girls were supposed to wear long black dresses. And I do not know why it never occurred to me until, actually, I think I did this my senior year. It didn't occur to me until then to wear pants. What were they going to do? My band director wasn't going to give a crap about it as long as I was wearing the right color. I'm sure it wasn't going to be an issue, but I loved doing performances. I hated getting dressed for them, and I hated going out on stage in them or for them, because I was wearing something I was so uncomfortable in.
I played tennis in college, and obviously that involves bun huggers and skirts. You know,
he says obviously as if I know what a bun hugger is.
That which hugs the buns.
It has little pockets in it. They put the tennis balls in it. But yeah, it was one of those, like, in high school, it sucked because they would just, like, why make it such a fight? Like, why even bother forcing people to wear one thing or another just to play a sport? In college, there was me and one other girl on the team that they were like, you can wear shorts. And we're like, thank God. You know, like why do we have to wear this stupid skirt?
Right.
I'll still kick your ass.
There are some other sports like that too, right? There's field hockey where you see folks wearing skirts. There's volleyball is like
silly one piece rules. Yeah, basically those shorts are what you wear under a tennis skirt.
Okay, so you were a little more covered. Supposedly, like,
yeah, but the skirt's flying all over the place, so you're really just running around in your underwear,
right? It's just like being at home. Only in front of people.
I'm pretty sure I got out of wearing the lacrosse uniform skirt and out of running by deciding to be the goalie, the keeper. I was like, I'm not doing that.
I'd rather be pummeled repeatedly in the goal box. That's funny.
How would you describe your personal style?
Currently?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kaylor.
Me? I'm like some sort of urban Chicano cowboy. I always got I wear a belt buckle and my boots and a t-shirt.
That's true.
Days.
That's true. It's true.
Even at work. I mean, I'm a mechanic, so I wear a work shirt and jeans and work boots. And
do you ever wear a cowboy hat? I love a cowboy hat.
Yeah, I don't have one that fits me very well right now, but same. I still have I remember when I transitioned, actually, the woman that I was seeing kind of helped me get a nice pair of boots and a nice belt and because I was always like, I've always wanted cowboy boots and I've always wanted to dress like, you know, and she kind of walked me through that and forced me to buy, and I still have those cowboy boots, and I still have that belt, actually. And she bought it was a beaver skinned cowboy hat, and it was a beautiful hat, but my head grew, so it doesn't fit anymore. But even in the yard, I wear a straw hat. Yeah, I always wear a straw cowboy hat. Yeah,
I also love a cowboy hat. On the West Coast, they're not uncommon at all. And when I was working in camps, really any outdoor work I was doing, I really loved having, one, something that covered my whole head, two, something that just kind of was different than what most other people were wearing.
Yeah. And
I still have my favorite cowboy hat. I took it in the shower. I shaped it. I did all the cool stuff to it. My head's too big for it now. It's all that ego has really come back for me. No, it's my head has grown since being on testosterone. And so the hat just doesn't fit anymore, but I can't bring myself to get rid of it because I love it. But I do have a
Yeah.
lot of I do have a straw hat that I use in the summertime, straw cowboy hat. And I would like
Well, let's
I
go
mean,
shopping, boys.
let's do it. Let's do it. We'll get boots and hats. Boots and hats and boots and hats. And boots
I
and
did. I
hats.
even did a
Read
rodeo
my mind.
once out in Denver, and I with a straw hat. I bought a straw hat out there that I had for years.
When you say
I did
did
the
a
gay
rodeo.
I did a gay rodeo, and honestly, I often tell that story as kind of like isn't that a funny sort of memory? But realistically, it was really horrible because they couldn't figure out where to put me as a trans man, and I was not. That was my first like real slap in the face from the queer community as a trans man to be like, oh, you don't really want me here.
So were you you were participating in the rodeo?
I was participating. I was steer wrestling. Yeah.
Oh. And how did that usually go? Like, were you good at it?
No, I mean, it was one of those things that somebody taught me, and then they just put you in a ring with a bull and you go for it. I ripped the side of I caught a horn down the side of my pants and ripped my pants all the way down the seam.
Probably.
But I got a
That's
really
all
cool
you did.
picture of me wrestling a steer.
Huh.
No, it was
That's-
actually
I
really
mean-
fun. I did it about, I don't know, maybe a dozen times. But that's the only time that I've ever done it. I'm not like a professional.
That's the only thing I've ever done. I've wrestled steer.
I've done a lot of weird shit.
Not even a little surprised. I mean, truly
No.
not surprised. I'm just
That's a whole separate episode.
right. Yeah.
Weird stuff that we've done on our resume.
Right. That's right. We're going to read our CVs. Mine will be significantly less entertaining. Probably.
I don't know. You
all
spent a
theirs.
lot of time in children's camps. You got a lot of stories.
I've done some silly things I've done some ridiculous things to make children laugh.
I bet.
I'm telling you, that is part of the reason that I don't have a lot of social anxiety is working with kids. Yeah, it's fight or flight, baby. They're going to tell you how it is. They're going to tell you how they want to tell you. And when it's your job to entertain them, oh man, whole other ball of wax. So yeah, it's hard to hurt my feelings having worked with kids for so long. I haven't done that in a while though.
What would you say to, like, I think most of my fashion choices, from 20 on, were all about trying to present as masculine as possible just to pass and survive, right? So I learned lots of little like tricks about like how to disguise your waist, or how to wear your pants in a certain way, or how to cut your hair, how do you trim your beard, how do you, all those kinds of things were my main focus in my 20s and 30s.
Sure,
Now
yeah.
I don't give a shit, but
Right.
for a while there, that was a huge focus for me.
Yeah. So what I wear today is, I mean, it really depends on the day. I wear a lot of different stuff. Today, if you're not watching and you're listening, I'm wearing a teal polo shirt with pink tigers on it. Like, and it's not out of the realm of the norm for me. I like to wear short sleeve button downs that have cool patterns on them. I really like really slim fit pants. I start looking like an Oompa Loompa as the wider the pants go, the shorter I get. So I really like a slim fit, and I hope those don't go away. Please don't go away. And I don't know, I wear fun sneakers, or a lot of times I'll wear boots, like work style boots. And frequently I'll wear a fun hat. Sometimes it is a baseball hat that's bright colored. Adam's got a really great baseball hat on right now, which has got lots of fun colors on it. Usually it's a bright colored baseball hat, or I'll wear a small brimmed fedora-y type thing, like an inch or two of brim. And sunglasses, I try to keep my eyeballs safe.
Something I need to do.
Yeah. Oh, and earrings. There was a period of time I took my earrings out because I was really feeling the dysphoria around a lot of things. And I don't know, it was just sort of a decision I made. And then finally, once I had been on tea for a while and was just feeling much better in my skin, I was like, wish I hadn't taken those earrings out. So I got my ears re-pierced. In terms of how I think of dressing myself in terms of being gender affirming, truth be told, I am less worried about it today than I ever was. There was definitely a time in my life where I was just like, I hated the idea of shopping in the women's section, as we said before. And I think some of that for me had nothing to do with the actual clothing, because when it comes down to it, I don't actually have an opinion about what people wear, but it meant something to me in the experience I was having in my life that I was being pigeonholed into a certain space. So that bothered me. So I always did, like I said, I dressed very masculinely. And I would say now, Adam, I don't really give a shit about whether somebody thinks I've got hips or not, or, whatever. The truth is, I mean, I've had top surgery. That helped a great deal with my being okay with myself physically. That just took a lot of anxiety off of me for a number of reasons. That'll be for another episode, I'm sure. Outside of that, do I still have dysphoria sometimes? Sure. I don't think that ever necessarily will go away, but I am significantly more confident in what I wear. How about you, Ollie? What kind of gender affirming ways do you dress?
Well, I recently started doing Stitch Fix, but on the men's. I had to make a new one because I had previously done it many years ago.
Do they not let you just change your gender on there?
No.
Or the preference?
They don't. So
Stitch Fix, get your crap together, man.
I know. I think it's been well discussed on the internet. I don't know if it's something that they're going to do and it's just taking a long time. From the tech side, I don't know. I don't have any particular strong feelings for or against, but what I would say is that let me rephrase that. What I meant to say was I don't know what they're going to do. If they are into, I don't really care. It's not an ad for Stitch Fix. All I was going to say about it was that I in some ways wish I would have done it earlier, because I find that for me, in having difficulty getting myself to go shopping sometimes, most of the time, it was helpful being able to play the swiping game with some outfits and say, this is the kind of stuff I like, this is the kind of stuff that I don't like, and then have somebody else do that and send it to me. Right. Because, and I kind of, the reason that I wish I would have done that earlier is because it's just helped me cycle in new clothes to my wardrobe, which has been really helpful. So I don't know. I have kind of there's a little bit of me that's kind of exploring a preppy look almost. My work, the stuff I wear to work is kind of like that. I'm into the, I don't know, a sweater and sometimes a button down underneath it.
Are you bringing back the corduroy, Alls?
I am not bringing back the corduroy.
Listen,
no, but
I don't know. It'd be bad.
No, it's just that if I touch them, it will feel like church, so I can't.
Understood.
Yeah.
That's funny.
No, texturally, I think I don't want to feel it.
Is there something that is the equivalent of Stitch Fix for thrift stores?
That's a really good question.
There
don't
really
know.
should be. How cool would that be?
Poshmark.
Yeah.
It's not, nobody's gonna go search for it, but that's where you'd find.
Yeah, that is the online
thrift store kind of.
Yeah.
I like the idea though of, and maybe it would be harder to do just simply because sizes and stuff are harder to, I imagine. Although something like Poshmark is big enough that you've got a lot of size options, I would imagine.
Yeah, that was the other thing I was going to say was the part of the quiz you take, you sort of say what kind of brands you normally wear and how they normally fit you. And so that was helpful. And so the stuff that they've ended up sending me, and I've been lucky too, because I know it can kind of depend on who they end up having do your box. But I've been really lucky in terms of getting stuff that fit. I have a really hard time with the shoulders. My shoulders are really narrow. That was helpful. But outside of work, I don't know. I'm kind of playing with a bunch of things. I feel like I'm maintaining a little bit of what I was describing before with the jeans and the boots thing is kind of just a mood for me. I have some Vans high tops.
I do love a Vans high top.
And I those are basically a boot. So I'm yeah let's do it.
Would we call that a soft boot, perhaps? Like a high top could be a soft boot.
Yeah, like it feels nice on my foot in the way that I think a boot does, except for the fact that they have crap support. So
Yeah.
there's that. But that's, I suppose, the point of a skate shoe. But the other thing that I've been leaning into what feels like what I would have wanted to wear when I was maybe in middle or high school. So
Yeah.
and in that time period too. So I'm doing a lot of like wearing a t-shirt and then having flannel or like a short sleeve button down like over the top that kind of goes with the colors.
Listen,
So-
you shouldn't laugh. I still do that.
Yeah.
That is a classic
yeah.
look, to be honest.
Yeah. So, and then the other thing that I've been kind of leaning into is sort of like you said, like there's almost like a circling back around to the jewelry thing. Like I kind of just ditched it all for a long time. And then
Right.
now I'm sort of revisiting that. And I have, you guys see me, I'm not wearing it right now because I need to clean it because I got water on it and now it smells weird. So I have to
Can't wait to hear what we're going to talk about here.
I have like two like necklace looking thing, or like it's like a thing on a chain that I wear. They're like meaningful pieces that I wear every day because I was always kind of like that as a kid too. I mean, they were like religious medals at the time. So actually, I can tell the story about the one for my mom because that feels like that was one of the first things that felt like an important part in connecting past me to current me, in the sense that, yeah, I used to wear like the same kind of religious medals every day. And one year my mom was asking me what I wanted for Christmas, and she's really into like James Avery and stuff. And so I had looked kind of just to humor her because I was like, I don't think there's going to be anything in there that I'm going to really want, but I'll look anyway. And it looks like a compass or a compass rose or something. And I was like, oh, that, it's not religious, but it feels like meaningful for me. And I had showed it to her, and she ended up getting it for me, and it was cool because it kind of felt like this weird meeting in the middle of something that's meaningful for her, but is also her seeing me as who I am. And also similarly to my dad, actually, might have been the same year, a couple of years ago after I started dressing more like myself. My dad has gotten really excited about watches that he thinks are cool, that he thinks that I would like.
I love a
He's
good
like,
watch.
oh, you might like this thing, and because I like it and I think it's cool, and so he's kind of like, oh, this is like a thing we can kind of bond over. So that's been cool.
That's sweet. I love that. And, a watch is cool too because you take reasonable care of it and you can have it forever and ever. You just may need to change the band out depending on what type of band it is. And the necklace too. Like, what a nice thing to be able to have from your family. Those things are affirming, I imagine.
Yeah.
And yeah, really thoughtful. I love that.
I also feel like I like the idea of that style where people wear chunky rings or like multiple rings. I've tried to do that before, but I get weird about having stuff on my hands.
I also don't know how people do it. Maybe they just have different shaped hands than I do, because I feel like, one, my hands swell and shrink so much that something can fit me great and then not at all, depending on the temperature of the day and what I've been doing. And then my fingers aren't the same size all the way up and down. And so I just don't even know how I would go about making sure I'd have to always wear them in the right order, I guess. I'm already stressed about it, thinking about it. I love the idea. It just is never going to happen.
I love big rings. Angela's made me a couple. And I love like my medicine wheel. She made me the little dangly on my medicine wheel. That's what I wear every day.
Trans colors on the dangly. Yeah. I love that. So for folks that are listening, it's a beautiful, I don't know, would you say it's about 3/4 of an inch medicine wheel? It's circular, like a nickel, and dangling off of it is, I'd say, a narrow, long piece with some stones embedded into it of the trans colors. It's really, really, really beautiful. And as we've said before, Angela's really talented.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I've always had, like my gauges, but recently I've started, my nephew does the hoops, and then I started dangling stuff off of that. I've started painting my nails, all those kinds of things that, I mean, in some way it's kind of a fuck you to all of the uber masculine that I had to perform for so many years.
Totally. I could totally see
and
that.
I recognize that now. Like
Yeah.
it took me like once I leaned into it, I was like, oh, I'm actually kind of being a jerk about it in a way. Like, but I also like it. So it's
I don't know if you're being a
both.
jerk. You're standing up for yourself.
Maybe. Yeah.
Standing up for yourself in a way that, especially under the Harry Benjamin
Standard of care.
standard
I
of
think.
care. That's right.
Yeah.
Harry Benjamin's standard of care forced you to not be yourself in a
Yeah.
lot of ways. Forced you to have to hide still, but hide under a beard. So,
Well, you didn't have a beard yet.
oh, that's
You had to
right.
do
No,
it-
you're right.
You had to do it without testosterone, which is why I say like most of my 20s was like, because I didn't have testosterone, but I needed to pass.
Right.
So I had to be
That's
very
right.
conscious of how I dressed and what I looked like. And
I just
all of
imagine
those
you
things.
having the beard preteen, to be honest. I have known Adam
No.
for how many years have I known you?
I moved here in 2012, so
So
a
I've-
long time.
Probably known you since about that year.
About that time, yeah.
Yeah, 2012, 2013. And I don't think I've ever seen you without a beard.
No, I had to shave. So when I was in Indiana, I did overnights at UPS, and they didn't let you have a beard at the time, but they let you have a mustache, which was how I realized that I should not have just a mustache. Too bad.
And what is the reason for that? Do you look like you should be?
I have a really round head. It's a family thing. Like my brother, my dad, like we have very round heads, and I
so it didn't
look
give you like
a
the porn star
basketball.
look. It just
No,
was like basketball with a mustache.
yeah.
That's unfortunate. You know what
Yeah.
though? There's somebody for everybody.
If you're looking for a basketball with a mustache, I got it for you.
We know your guy. I don't look. I can't quite. I still have a little gap in the middle of my mustache. So, first of all, if I shave my beard and not the mustache, I just don't. I don't know if I have the right face shape for it either. But also, I don't. I get self-conscious about that gap.
Yeah,
Not self-conscious. It's just like it just doesn't look great.
yeah,
know?
and
Just-
it just takes time.
It takes a
Like,
lot of time.
It takes a lot of time.
So much
It takes
time.
a lot of time. Yeah,
You know, it didn't take any time on my butt. That was
on my back.
speaking of fashion. Tell you about my new sweater. So when I was younger, I don't know if you all did this. I went to largely Department of Defense schools, DoD schools. And so in those schools, I don't know if it was just within there or if this was a thing in the US, we would have Christmas concerts. And like the kids would learn Christmas songs and we would sing. And I remember that one year, I was living in Panama and we were having our Christmas concert, and I was in 5th grade, I think, 4th and 5th grade. And our class was doing a couple of different songs, and the class had a vote on who was going to be an elf. And because I was a tiny kid with big ears and I had short blonde hair, I was voted to be one of the elves. Now, my best friend Thomas was also voted to be an elf, so that was fun. But I remember feeling a combination of so I had an outfit. I was wearing like these green tights and like, you know, I kind of look like a Christmas Joker, really, like, you know, like the elf outfit that has like the little bells and stuff. And on the one hand, I felt like really special that I got voted to be something. But looking back on it, I'm like, oh, I was voted to be a little elf. But it was cute. I got to wear an outfit and I was really proud of being able to dress up like the elf, and only my best friend also got to dress up like an elf, and that was it. We were the only ones. And so I felt very special there. It was a very big shift from, you know, kids didn't care at that age, at least. Let me take that back. So when I was moving around when I was growing up and moving around so much, we were around a lot of other kids that also moved around a lot. I wasn't given much of a hard time from kids at that time. Like kids were just like, first of all, you didn't know anybody long enough to have any long-standing grudges or anything. And then on the other hand, you were really eager to have friends because otherwise you'd have no friends. So I think in that space, kids were really pretty chill with each other for the most part. It wasn't until I moved to San Diego and we were there for a while and I was outside of the DoD schools that I had a lot of problems with kids giving me a hard time. But all to say that in Panama, I had really short hair. I was stealing my brother's clothes. I once at church, this one I remember in particular because I remember it made my dad real upset. I was at church and I got kicked out of the women's bathroom and I didn't stand up for myself because I was like, whatever. Like, what am I going to do? And I was a painfully shy child. I was very, very shy and very, very insecure. And so I wasn't going to put up a fight with an adult that obviously knew more than I did. And obviously, because we're in the church, like I did a bad thing. And I remember my dad was really upset about it. And I remember taking that on as like, oh, I failed somehow here. Even though he never, ever, ever took that out on me, I was just aware of how.
Yeah, society told you were wrong.
Yeah, exactly. And so that did happen quite a bit when I was younger, especially when I had shorter hair. And truth be told, I had shorter hair quite a bit because it was easier. My hair was always getting in knots and nobody was thrilled about helping me with that. So having it really short was a better option. It came with the cost. So, and it was funny because I felt more comfortable and more confident until it was made apparent that, oh, this actually isn't the right thing.
Yeah.
What? Didn't make sense at all. Did y'all ever do that Christmas concert stuff?
I was going to say that I somehow have an extremely similar story where I was also nominated to do something because I was little. I was chosen to be the Saint Bernard character in a Christmas play.
Would a Saint Bernard not be a larger child?
Well, it was a very small show with a very tiny cast, and several people had to play multiple parts. And I actually don't know if it's because they were like, actually, you can't sing that well, so
had nothing to do with you being short.
I don't know. Yeah.
Is that a realization you're having right this moment?
Yesterday, yes.
Oh my gosh. You know, one of our episodes needs to be a karaoke episode.
God. We could do a karaoke event someday.
Ooh, I love that.
That would be fun.
We could bring guests on to sing karaoke.
Okay.
Be the shortest listened to episode of all time.
Right.
In TransJoycast history.
I like the karaoke event idea because I don't know if I need evidence floating out.
You don't want it recorded?
We record everything. You know that.
Yeah. I just bought some new mics for that exact purpose.
That's right. Yes. Some nice quality, high quality, going to catch every note.
Every crack.
That's right. Ooh, that'd be fun. I am not going to be good at it, but I would really enjoy it.
Do you guys want to hear about a fashion trend that I'm going to be attempting to reclaim?
Yes.
That's kind of embarrassing.
Are we saying reclaiming or like bringing it back for everybody? Like, what is your true aspiration?
Are you reclaiming for
Whatever
you?
the answer is that results in. Let me just tell it to you, and then you can tell me what it is.
Okay.
So, do you remember when I was talking about emulating the fashion choices of my favorite characters on television?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm sort of circling back around to a little bit of that phase because I have decided. So, one of my favorite characters is a detective, so she's got like a phone holster and a gun holster on her pants. And I decided, it started out as a joke. I was at work.
That's how it always starts.
It started out as a joke, and I went to the IT guys and I was like, hey, so this work phone is like big and I have little pockets. So has anyone ever requested a holster for this work phone?
I'm picturing Ollie. Voila, wah, wah,
and they were like, no, literally no one. And you have to understand that the majority of the people that work for this company are like dads, like my dad, like my dad's age dads.
Surely they've at some stage asked.
And I was like,
one.
somebody has to have a holster. Anyway,
they
were
were
like,
a
we
thing.
can look. And I was like, well, I was just curious because it would be, then I could have my own phone in my pocket and then have the other one. I just run out of pockets. And the other option was cargo pants, and I'm not ready for that. So
Look, as I'm gonna assume I'm speaking for Adam here too. As former wearers of cargo pants, the utilitarian case for those is incredible.
Utilis kilt. That's what you need.
A utilikilt.
Yes.
I also
it's
consider
like cargo pants in a kilt. It started as a tool belt basically, and then they've morphed into lots of variations.
Huh.
That was my other idea. Was they recommended like a tool belt, and I was like, that could work because I sometimes have other things to carry too. And that's why I said not anti-cargo pant or cargo kilt. I was just, I don't know if I'm ready to invest in that. Really, was the
Emotionally.
The idea. Yeah,
it is like there's a certain kind of queer that wears cargo pants. I know. I was that queer.
So that was the thing. Was I just asked about it. I was just floating the idea, and today I got an email, and they were like, "Hey, we ordered you a new case and a holster, and it'll be here."
Oh my gosh.
And now I'm like, well, shit. I was gonna like. Just maybe consider getting one like on Amazon, but now that like
now you have
got
to use
one
it
for me, and now I have to use it.
You know what you do?
So,
you know what you do? You make a point of going past IT with it on you, just, every couple weeks.
the other thing I was gonna try and test out is that I got these like is a sport coat or like it's kind of like a. I'm trying to
blazer.
Like I said, I'm trying to lean into the like preppy pseudo corporate thing. I'm not really sure how it's going to work out for me, but I wanted to test it. So I got some, but I have to take them to get them altered because they're obviously too big because problems. And so I kind of feel like if I wear it and I wear one of those jackets over, like then it won't be as like dad vibe.
Then you'll be the detective.
That's the idea. Yes. So
yeah. So you just need blazers to go with your holsters.
Yeah.
See,
so stay tuned on how that goes.
I'm still really into this idea of the tool belt. Like, I love, granted, as I said, I sometimes wear things that other people wouldn't wear, but I love the idea of like a snappy blazer and, the nice clean white button shirt, jeans or nice slacks. And then the cool tool belt. Like, I don't know. I think that's kind of cool. And then imagine things you could carry with you. Like
exactly.
Like small child, hop into this little bucket. Tiny puppy,
my kangaroo pouch.
That's right. You may join me. Like,
Yep.
My coffee. You could, if your coffee has a lid, you can just stick it right in there.
True.
And walk around with it. I'm telling you.
Yeah. The thing that I'm most excited about for this is that past me 10 years ago, I also tried to do this same look, but in like the me that was a lot less sure of myself. And then my ex-girlfriend said something to me about it after the fact and kind of made fun of me for it. And I was mortified. So I never wore one again.
That happened to me
and
too.
Now,
yeah.
I'm like, yeah, people are going to give me shit for it. I'm fully prepared. And my idea is just like my confidence level now, especially at work, like where I feel like I've felt like I've been able to bring more of my personality and like my like kind of just be myself in a lot of ways. And so, and part of that is me being weird. So I feel like I have the confidence now to be like, yeah, I wear a phone holster. I don't know. I'm excited.
You just own it. Just own it.
Yeah.
Other people who are busy picking on other people for like what they're wearing, like you don't have enough going on in your life if that's where you're putting your brain power.
Yeah.
Like, be mad about the cost of eggs. Forget about what I'm wearing. Also, it doesn't matter what you wear. Somebody's going to have an opinion about it. So
it's true.
I don't think there's enough time in this life to give too much of a shit about it. I really enjoy just wearing the stuff that I think is fun. And if you are excited about the blazer and the holster and the pants, have fun. Just enjoy it. Workspaces are so serious anyway. Like if you want to, and I don't mean this in a belittling way, but if you want to wear costumes, if you want to try stuff out and see what works for you, I did, it's fun. It's fun. I did the exact same thing, man. The number of blazers I wore that were just too big. And
Same.
Looking back at pictures, I'm like, oh man, I'm feeling a little embarrassed for past me. But the truth is, like, I didn't care then, and truly don't really care now. It's kind of fun to look back at it and think, oh, there were choices made. But at the time, it made me feel more confident, and I felt better about myself in a space where I really wasn't comfortable in my own body, and that helped me feel more comfortable. And okay, great, that's what it took. And so I had an ill-fitted jacket. Oh well. It wasn't ill-fitted, it was just ill-fitted in the traditional sense. It fit me just fine.
Well said.
I mean, again, if any of you listening could see what I'm wearing today, you'd have less questions. I had a therapist once that said that, what she wears, how she keeps her lawn, that sort of stuff is for her an extension of herself. It's an extension of her personality. It's an extension of, it's an ability for her to express herself. And just like you were saying, Adam, about it's a little bit of a fuck you to the system when I'm wearing my nail polish and my dangling earrings. And like you're saying, Ollie, you were picked on for wearing what you were wearing, but you're like, forget it. I'm going to do what I want to do. Yeah, dude, that's exactly what it should be. Even when I was really little or really young and not loving what I was wearing, I found little ways to rebel in the way that the rules were at the time. And now we've got so much more freedom to do that because we are our own people now. We're not dependent on our parents to at least here. There might be folks listening who that is still the case. And let me tell you, if that is the case, you're going to make it. You're going to find your little ways of making something yours and your little ways of rebelling. You're going to be okay. And at some point, you're in the not too distant future, you're going to be able to make all those decisions on your own. Then you can do whatever the hell you want. So plan now. And until then, it's a really good exercise in being creative around the things, the resources that we do have. We, I know that not too long ago, we will likely do another one of these. We did a clothing swap at one of our TransJoy events, which was kind of cool. A bunch of folks brought clothes, and essentially you get to go shopping without spending money and pick out new stuff. And that was really fun because we had folks across the spectrum in terms of gender and folks across the spectrum in terms of how long on their transition journey they've been. And so lots of opportunity for folks to trade clothes that just either aren't working for them anymore, they're clothes that,
they never wanted anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Didn't want anyway, or, definitely were trying to make work, but didn't work. Yeah. So if you're listening in another city, or even Atlanta, keep your eyes open for things like clothing swaps. Those are a really cool way for little to no money. The money just be really in getting there. Participate in a clothing swap, bring stuff that you're not using anymore, gently used things, and get yourself a whole new wardrobe. I actually really like the idea. I think it'd be fun to go out and pick each other an outfit out.
Yeah.
I think I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Although I do remember you having me cut some booty shorts at one point. And I think I was also wearing a fringed vest at that time.
That was a personal choice.
and I had chaps on. So yeah, I'm not sure I trust you.
Listen,
under the fringe.
To be clear, I was not the one that cut the shorts. Number two, I didn't provide the what was it called? What, not frilly, but the
fringe.
I didn't provide the fringe vest. And number three, I most certainly did not provide the chaps, although I did request them.
Yes, you did.
And I stand by it. So for one of our flag football end of season parties, we did Adam and I, as part of the Atlanta Freedom Bands, did a little performance on stage, and he and I both cut pairs of jeans into very tiny booty shorts. And I, ladies and gentlemen, decided it'd be fun to wear a packer for this because, I'm wearing tiny shorts and not a whole lot else. So it's like, oh, this will be fun. And the packer that I have is bright blue. and I didn't have quite I hadn't planned in terms of the underbritches because I needed short underwear because these shorts, when I say these shorts were short, they were like denim underpants. So on the outside. So I had this packer and my little undies and my little shorts and the not so little packer. I remember looking at Adam going, I am picturing this falling out on stage while I'm marching in front, like marching onto the stage because we were going to do like a high knee march again.
Yeah.
Like lots of choices were being made. You know what? And I went out there and did it anyway. I was like, you know what? The worst thing that happens is worst thing that happens is it flops out on stage and it'll be a good story.
No, I remember that because I was digging through my closet. My wife's like, "What are you looking for?" I was like, "I think I got a dick in here somewhere." Because again, I don't care anymore. Like I don't use those. Like...
Right. Same. I think I was pulling stuff out. We had this hamper that we had carried our stuff in with, and I pulled like it was probably my little shorts, pulled my little shorts out and my tank top or whatever I was wearing. And the dick was just like, cause it's floppy. So it's like a little Jello mold just sitting by itself in the hamper. Yeah. Anyway, we had a lot of fun with that. That was a good
We did
time.
have a lot of fun with that.
All to say, I thought that those were good fashion choices for the moment.
For the moment, they were good fashion
I wouldn't choose anything for you that was contextually inappropriate.
Yeah, but I'm not sure I trust your definition of contextually inappropriate.
That's valid.
So
I
fashion
trust
show.
Ollie.
Fashion
We're having
show.
a fashion show now.
You trust
I don't know,
Ollie
it
because
could be fun.
Listen, I don't let Ollie fool you with their blazer and button-down shirt concept. That's for Ollie. That may not be
That
for
is a
you.
good point.
I wouldn't. So I think the goal we could do it one of two ways. It could be that we pick an outfit that we're like, this is very you. This is something you might pick for yourself, but maybe it's a little different because I picked it. And then there's the one where it's like, if I could dress you, here's how I would dress you. If I could dress you for a day.
There's a lot of riffs that could be had on a fashion show activity.
Right. I love this. I actually kind of love this. This should be a
You can go to
fundraiser.
just like a Goodwill thing.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun.
Mhm.
It's a shame that if we could have a clothing swap that was big enough, we could do kind of a fundraiser
After
fashion
clothing swap. I mean, once the weather starts getting warmer, that's definitely going to be. We'll do more clothing swaps, so
Yeah,
we could try it.
We're just about there. I was outside today and it was
Yeah.
fantastic. It was really, really great.
Yeah.
All right, one other clothing question for y'all. What was your most memorable Halloween costume?
I was thinking that earlier. For me, it was. Isn't it funny that all of my Halloween costumes were men? Like that's how I.
I mean, that's the time that was like the only time it was okay
That's
to
the
really
only time,
explore that,
yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
it could be a very gender affirming day for
can
many
be.
of us.
Yeah,
Little queer
yeah.
kids everywhere. We're free.
Yes. I don't know, like pirate, cowboy, scarecrow, just whatever it was, but it was always masculine.
Yeah. How about you, Alls?
I have two. The most memorable one, because it was weird, was I moved like 2 weeks before Halloween one year, and I was a bag of trash. And my sister was a pile of leaves.
Okay, I have questions. So, bag of trash, I feel like I could picture how, but I'd like to hear how that was done. And also, like,
It's
how
not that-
pile of leaves.
Well, the pile of leaves was like part of a garland from Michael's, like a fall garland, like sewn onto an orange long sleeve shirt. And then the bag of trash was me cutting holes in a large black yard waste trash can and stuffing it with newspaper. And then, yeah, that was that. My favorite one though probably was a couple of years ago. It was very gender affirming because I made it basically with clothes that I already had. I was Newt Scamander. Actually, hold on, please hold. Newt Scamander.
Excited
from
to hear what's about to
Fantastic
happen
Beasts
here.
and Where to Find Them, and he has Pickett. It's a anyway. I made him.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't either. Sorry.
Is this like
okay.
was this a show?
Well, it was like I was trying to talk about it without referencing that it was like a Harry Potter spin-off thing, but here we are. So,
Oh, that's
yeah.
okay. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with acknowledging.
She who shall not be named. Yes.
Right.
But
There's
yeah,
nothing wrong with
there was
acknowledging the art.
Eddie Redmayne plays. It was like a series of movies that came out in the last couple of years, and he's like a magical zoologist.
Yeah.
And so he has this little friend who is like a twig that's alive.
It's pretty cute.
Can you describe for our listeners what it is that you're showing us?
Yes.
Is it pipe cleaners?
It is. Yes, it is made from green pipe cleaners and some string. And he looks
Did you make it?
slightly displeased because that was his main mode, and he has like a lot of fingers and toes because he's a bow truckle, so he's like a twig.
He has lots of roots. That makes sense.
Did you make it?
I did make it.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
And did you like attach it to you or?
Yeah, he wears like a long like an overcoat kind of thing. So I like stuck it through one of the little holes that like a
okay, cool
boutonniere would go in.
Yeah, I love that. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. I have a trash bag costume I did as well. So I was a poor college student and I had just had foot surgery. So I had no money for a costume. I had no real desire to go get one. And I decided that I was going to dress up because I had a party to go to. I was going to dress up as my toe. So I wore a trash bag and I had painted my toenails before I went and had surgery. And so I painted my face blue, which was the color of the toenail. I wore the trash bag, and the toe itself that I had surgery on had 2 stitches, one across each knuckle, or two incisions, one across each knuckle. And I drew stitches across the trash bag. That was fun and silly. Well, my go-tos now are either cowboy or pirate. And it's actually because those costumes for me are very similar. I can use essentially the same clothes. And I already own the clothes that make it work, right? And those are just kind of fun. And inevitably I forget that I need to get a costume or be prepared for some sort of dress-up thing. So that's typically how I do it. And then when I was younger, probably one of my favorite costumes that I had was, there were 2 of them. One, I was a dragon when I was really little. My mom used to work at, she was a medical technologist, and so she had lab coats. And so we sewed a tail and like cloth made spikes to the back and then painted me green. And then I was a dragon. And then my dad had made me, when he was home one year, I was able to be a magician, and he made out of cardboard and foil my hat and my little wand. And we just bought a cape probably, from the Halloween section. And I wore all black, and I was like, I knew no magic tricks, to be clear. Like, there were no tricks happening. I just wanted a top hat. It was very affirming, gender affirming. And then finally, one of my most recent memorable costumes was with Adam, actually.
That's right.
A couple of years ago, he and I were the bus from
Magic School Bus.
That's right.
Yeah.
No way.
Angela was the teacher, and
Miss
her
Frizzle.
brother was somebody on the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And what was Sal?
Sal was the chameleon. And when I say there has never been a cuter chameleon on the planet, Sal was. If you don't know Sal,
a blow up chameleon.
That's right. So if you don't know Sal,
and it was at a roller skating rink. That
That's
has
right.
to be put in too.
Right.
So blow up chameleon on roller skates.
That's right. And if you don't know Sal, Sal is really, really introverted until they put this costume on.
Oh, man.
And then, so we're at the skating rink. And first of all, I want to make it clear that all of us were really excited about roller skating. And then almost all of us realized we cannot roller skate anymore. I was like, there was a, for example, I went on to the skating rink, and the way that the rink is set up is apparently the faster people are on the outside and the slow people are in the middle. And I'm holding on to the wall because I know that I need to get to the middle, but I'm not sure how I'm going to get to the middle without ending up on my ass. And there's like children whipping past me. They're like, wee, wee, wee. They're like going so quick. And, you know, this teenage kid who was just doing his job comes up to me and goes, hey man, you can't just be hanging on the wall. And I was like, I need to get to the middle. He's like, yeah, you just can't be hanging onto the wall there. That's you gotta go. And I was like, can you help me get to the middle? And he's like, sir, no. And so I'm looking like, I don't understand how these skating rinks work, because you can't get help. And if I want the little walker thing, I have to get to the middle to go get it. And so anyway, long story short, I didn't end up roller skating and was shamed by a child for hanging onto the wall. But anyway, so Sal, on the other hand, in this giant blow up costume, is Adam and I are thinking, well, we don't want Sal to get left behind, right? Like, you don't, like, Sal's taking a real leap here being dressed up in this big air-filled chameleon costume, much like those, you know, giant air-filled dinosaur costumes. And so Adam and I are looking for Sal, and we look across the rink and we're like, but Sal's over there. And Sal's all the way across, and there are children holding on to Sal. Sal is like dragging, some child has Sal's tail in their hands. Like kids were coming up and trying to, it was so good. Kids were coming up and holding Sal's hands. It was just so sweet. It's so sweet.
I love that.
Now, to be clear, Sal also wasn't super sure-footed on these on the roller skates, but was significantly more adept than I was. And so Sal is on the skating rink, like, I don't know if you can picture like Charlie Brown and the Peanuts, and their legs and arms are kind of spinning around in circles, just trying to keep balance. And so between that and the children hanging on, it was just the cutest thing I've ever seen. And it took a good several minutes to get our jaws off the ground, because it was so great, and it was super funny. That was probably my favorite recent Halloween costume.
That was
sure.
a good Halloween.
That sounds like a wonderful time. And if ever we have an episode for things that we're horribly bad at, skating is mine. So I'm glad for you guys, and I would have gladly watched, but I am now banned.
To be clear,
from
we did
skating
not
for the rest
successfully skate
No,
anywhere.
we paid to rent skates. I stepped off of the ledge, held onto the wall.
Yeah. I stepped off the ledge, went around like just the little section where it was open to the next wall, and then was like, no.
Did you hold on to the railing?
There wasn't a railing right there, so I did go a little bit without a railing.
Yeah, you went around the round part then. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's you say that, actually maybe there wasn't a railing on mine either. That seems actually like it would be pretty unsafe to have a railing that people can run into. I don't know. What do I know? It was unsafe for me to even be near any of that.
Yeah.
I'm not the one that should be talking about it. Yeah, Ollie, I can't.
But a Halloween party should be on our list.
Ooh, Halloween party. Yes.
Yeah, we've been talking to some local businesses, so we might have places to do those kinds of things soon.
That's right.
If you or anyone you know has local businesses in Atlanta that want to partner with TransJoy, please reach out.
We're pretty good at bringing a crowd.
Yeah.
You know, it's a matter of finding places that ideally we can make it as kid friendly as possible. That's always the goal, and we're able to do that about 95% of the time. And of course, we would much rather be, well, I was going to say partnering with allies. Those are the only people that would let us in anyway. So I don't know what I was going to say there.
Because part of hosting a TransJoy event requires advertising a TransJoy event.
Being willing to have trans next year.
That's limited to just the allies.
You're not wrong. You can't get the one-off company that's like, I thought this was for transportation.
Yeah, I mean, that happens to us more often than you would think.
Adam was telling Ollie and I not too long ago that we're apparently classified as a transportation company somewhere because they just
one
assumed.
of our accounts. I don't know what it was, but yeah, I was like, all right, fine.
All right, that was great. Super fun. Thanks for those stories, y'all. Those are really fun. I'm excited for some of the plans that we've come up with just in this little part of our episode. And stay tuned for in-person karaoke, costume parties, clothing swaps, and the like through the year. We've got lots of stuff coming up. All right, so it is time for our moment of joy. Friends, what were your moments of joy this week?
I'll go first. It was my wife's birthday this week, so
happy birthday.
I took a little bit of time off of work and went up to our favorite restaurant and got some takeout, and we had takeout and watched a movie because midweek birthdays suck. But that made it perfect. It was
that
very
doesn't sound bad at
joyful.
all.
Yeah, it was really great. We sat in the yard for a while. The weather was pretty, and then had dinner. It's very nice.
That sounds
very
amazing.
relaxing.
Yeah, I chatted with you on the phone. You drove a little ways to go get that food. That was really sweet of you.
Yeah, our favorite restaurant is Snack Box Bistro but they moved. They used to be up by H Mart, and they moved up to Duluth. It's a little smaller, but it's Laotian that we love, and it's the only one in town. It's so good.
I need to try it. I don't think I've ever had Laotian food.
Oh, I will gladly take you up there.
Sounds great. Let's do it. What movie did you watch?
We watched The Incredible Weight of Massive Talent or something like that, which was absolutely hilarious. Nick Cage is and The Mandalorian. What's his name?
That guy.
Oh,
yeah.
Pedro
Pascal.
Yes, Pedro Pascal. They did a movie that's kind of just making fun of Nick Cage, but in a really good way. It's bizarre.
What's it called?
Something like The Incredible Weight of Massive Talent or something like that. I don't know what it is, but
awesome.
It's hilarious. It was really
Nobody
good.
has a better sense of humor about themselves than Nicolas Cage.
Yes.
It's so good. You know, funny enough, especially if I'm wearing hats, I'm told that I can look like Pedro Pascal, and I think it's my scrappy beard. I think it's like
And the eyebrows, I think maybe.
I do have like, I wouldn't call them like aggressive eyebrows, but they're prominent enough.
Mm-hmm.
We would call them sturdy. I have sturdy eyebrows and a touch and go beard and mustache. Sorry, Pedro.
Yeah.
That's
It's like somebody, when I was ordering dinner the other day, somebody told me I looked like Teddy Swims, and I was like, who in the what? And then Angela said, no, you're just a white guy with a beard. You don't look like, he's some singer.
You were talking about your mustache and the shape of it, and I think I could see the Pedro Pascal. I was also going to say too, if I was making a weird face when you started saying that, because I thought that you were going to say Nicolas Cage, and I was like, really?
No.
Never gotten Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
No. Weirdly enough, I haven't gotten that.
Makes sense now.
Pedro Pascal, and if I'm a little trimmer, I've also gotten
Johnny Depp?
No.
Orlando
I was
Bloom.
going to be like,
Orlando Bloom. Yeah,
okay.
Again, I think it's the facial hair. It's the
yeah.
less than full facial hair. It's coming in slowly, but definitely I get the Pedro Pascal a lot these days. Just kind of funny. I'll take it. I think he's obviously a scholar and a gentleman, so he should only be so lucky to look like me.
What's your joy?
Was that not it?
Maybe.
Might have been it. So the last couple days out have been beautiful. And so today I really just needed to shake some brain cells loose. I've been working on a lot of design stuff and doing some podcast editing, and it was just so beautiful out, and I had the window in the office open, and that just wasn't good enough. I decided I really needed to get out and take the dogs out. So I walked the dogs around for, I don't know, probably a mile and a half or so, and then brought them back because I could tell that they were like, that was fine, I'm done. Every time we walked past the house, the dog, somebody was like, "We're going back." No, we're not going back. Okay, I'll just lay in the neighbor's yard. Is that fine? You come back and get me. So, so then probably an hour later, was chatting with a buddy of mine, and it was still nice out, so I decided to go back out again and take another walk around the neighborhood, just because it's perfect out. Little things are starting to bloom just a little bit, and it was like 72 degrees out. Oh, chef's kiss. Mwah. It's great. So my joy was getting some really nice weather, getting some of that vitamin D, and it's hanging out with my doggies, chatting with my friend.
Oz?
Yesterday, Kieran and I got on Teams to do some TransJoy stuff, and then just hung out, and we were both sitting outside a little bit.
That's right.
So that was really fun.
That was so much fun.
Just chatting about all kinds of stuff. Talked about journaling and everything. And I finished my second ever knitted dishcloth.
Nice.
So that was an exciting. It's a big deal for me because, as discussed, my brain likes a lot of different things. So that means I have like 87 unfinished projects at any given moment in time, and usually the number that I've completed is 0. But so far this year, I'm doing okay. I did 3 vision boards that are completed, and then I also have so I've finished 2 knitting projects so far this year. So that's
excellent
joy and tiny accomplishment, and just really had a good time chatting with you yesterday. So
yay! So did I. It was really great catching up. We hadn't had a chance to do that in a while. Vision boards. So you had 3 of them. Is it because you were like, things were changing so fast in the world, you're like, scrap that, gotta start over? Or were they 3 different topics?
Nah, yeah. Like when I started cutting stuff out for them, I just got really excited. And generally when I create things, I tend to, I don't know what you would call the equivalent of word vomiting when you're making a collage, but it was just everything that I liked, I cut out. And then I came back later, and I just kind of played with it until I figured out what kind of themes went together. And then that's how and then they all wouldn't fit on one board. So that's how I have 3 of them. I see.
So you ended up with 3 vision boards. So how do you define a vision board then? Is that like, because what I'm picturing you doing now is you just cut out all the pictures you liked, and now you just made art.
Yeah, that's sort of, I almost feel like maybe they should be called something different, because they're not exactly, I think they're vision boards, but they're definitely towing the line towards a collage. Yeah. But they have themes.
Fair enough.
Sort of.
Okay.
So
I like it. I love the idea of being intentional about things and setting intention. We talked about that yesterday when we were chatting about journaling, actually. And the idea of just like setting an intention, and the idea of doing that in a vision board is just another dimension of it. Super cool. Love it. Oh, your joys are my joys, gentlemen. All right. Well, thank you once again, everybody. This was such a fun conversation. I cannot wait to pick outfits for these 2, and can't wait to see what they'll pick out for me. We will let you know when this happens. Love you so much. Make sure to hydrate, take care of yourselves, fit some self-care in, get some sunlight if you can, and we will be right here next time. Looking forward to chatting with you. Mwah.
Till next time.
See you later.